stars, I present to you a post to honor our queen, the late Kyle Marissa Roth. There are blind items upon blind items about the British royal family. They are created by CDAN, who trashes the Sussexes every single day and has been saying their split is imminent since they got engaged, claiming that Harry is having an affair with the singer Adele and that he lives in a hotel down the road and that he's in love with Kate or with his exes, on and on and on. And it makes it very clear that he is getting briefed by the Lee Thompsons, Jason Naufs, and that set, that Kensington Palace crony circle. One revealed blind claimed that Sarah Ferguson was the person who leaked to him, or one of the people who leaked to him. There isn't going to be a balanced set of leaks, right? Because if you leak against a future king, you can expect to lose a lot, a whole lot, maybe 6 months, maybe more out of your active public life. To Enty's credit, he's been shouting about the island problem since Beatrice's 18th birthday costume party at the palace. All that entire island rogues gallery was all there at the palace, and Beatrice is 35 now. But there are a set of just incidents that we can help our understanding by thinking about. So here we go with the blinds. Number 1, May 18th, 2016. What A-plus list royal apparently has a weekly group session dealing with her fit eating? You're welcome to guess. I will not say here and now. January 3rd, 2017. Out of my normal range, but apparently this elderly A-plus list royal used a mild cold as a great excuse to stay away from several possible threats against her life that intelligence services said were likely. Apparently this all came to light because one royal family member used the absence to garner himself a bunch of publicity. A favorite son of the late monarch, perhaps? Which one? The heir or the spare? I leave it up to you to draw your own conclusion. Next, October 14th, 2019. In the spring, there was a mini split between the one closer to the throne and his wife. The reason was well documented. It was such a rough split that the wife chose to cancel all her events that had been scheduled for a trip with her husband, and he was to go alone. Oh, he traveled alone, all right, but he didn't stay alone. The person that was at the center of the mini split was there the entire time. Again, that was 2019. That was the eve of Megxit, when they left Britain and the royal family for the sunny shores of California. But at the time, the person that the spouse demanded that that person be removed from their social circle. But he figured that person had been in his aristocratic social circle since way before the spouse was even in the picture. So his response was and is, heck no. The person that was at the center of the mini split was there the entire time. It was only about 5 weeks after the trip that the person in question also showed up to a very big event which both the husband and the wife attended. Now, you can guess which married royal couple it is and what outside love triangle third party it might be. Could be somebody that likes to post garden pictures on Instagram. Now, next, December 7th, 2020. It is way easier for this foreign-born A-plus list couple to hide the separate bedrooms thing at home. It is much harder on the road. So you get the excuse. You could just mention the affair and that it has been hard to forgive. Again, our favorite garden person is the pivot of ongoing problems, and that was 2020. Now, fast forward, January 18th, 2024. Now the arch rival of the royal is pushing the narrative that not only is the royal a racist, but is also a lover of the grape and the hop, which is why she needed surgery. Oh, now, 4 years later, how would she know anything about the habits of the one who's been out of public view for 6 months until last Saturday? Such a brilliant strategy to leak and attribute things to someone who has no idea and doesn't even have the back channels through which to leak or brief. But always has to be that pivot point that, oh, it's her, the affair is her fault. The accusation about what caused the health crisis, it's her fault. It's her fault. It's never the fault of the spouse. It's never the institution or the circumstance. It's always her fault when she's somewhere else, anywhere else, but where the party in question is, right? Inside that gilded cage. Let's attribute responsibility where it belongs. How about that? March 1st, 2024. The story goes that the now unalived guy had something to do with the abdominal injuries. When all of this comes out, it's going to be one huge story. And this is the blind that really kicked off a lot of interest and intrigue from folks who really don't give a damn about the royal family or, all the cornball, wizard outfits and all of that. It was like, what? Abdominal surgery? Nobody goes to the doctor for abdominal issues or abdominal surgeries. There are specific organs, right? We know all the speculation that has been ongoing about what organ in the abdomen could have been affected by surgery, cancer, a need for preventative chemo that got diagnosed weeks after the fact instead of during a biopsy or right after the surgery, in a week. That's the customary amount of time for any dysplasia or what is the word? In situ, when you find abnormal cells that might be cancer or a precursor to cancer, etc. The suspicion was that the unalived guy may have left a deposit that could lead to let's just say another plate at the dinner table, and that the reaction of her spouse was extreme, the kind of extreme that might cause you to need facial surgery, and that the abdominal surgery was the kind of intervention that Congress is attempting to outlaw in the United States, if you get my meaning, right? Certain letters come into play. Let's just say that it's the letters that follow the name of the American capital, right? Washington blank blank. And that set of letters is meant to make it no longer necessary to have that extra plate or setting at your dinner table. There have been a lot of phony stories that get shared in blinds. There have been a lot of kernels that then turn out to be accurate. Right? Jane Doe and the island people's business is why the king's brother is being encouraged to leave Royal Lodge, right? For image reasons, for asset reasons, and sometimes it's because people need to give other disgruntled parties a goodie. Some people who are having some marital issues might not settle for the little cottage. They want a grand estate, and they're going to hold out and pout and maybe have a sick out until they get it. There are so many tendrils floating out from the Medusa head of royal drama. It's hard to tell where one begins and the other ends, but I think that what's fascinating about all of these Sedan blinds, and he has been sued a bunch of times and he's wrong probably a third of the time. Well, what of these suggestions could be even partially true, could be a factor in disappearances, unalivings, unscheduled absences from particular events, surprising black eyes and bruises around the neck being sported by members of the royal family and the in-laws. What a guan. I think that all of us can recognize how significant it is to walk around with bruising to your face or your neck. That's like a maybe even once in a lifetime incident, right? Like hitting your finger with a hammer where the nail turns black and falls off. It's a significant injury, a memorable injury. How and why it happened? Was it the car accident that you can't search and find in any articles? Was it a domestic incident? Nobody knows. But again, this is just grist for your thought mill. But please let me know what you think in the comments. Stitches and duets, stars.